This is actually relatively interesting diving into this because I can see why so many people are so hardcore defending Gary. Because what he is doing is kind of telling his audience, "Hey, don't trust mainstream media," which I want to stress. Um, in and of itself is not a terrible idea. It's important to understand how mainstream media report stuff. And I'll tell you right now, mainstream media almost never lies. If they're reporting something, almost always they got the facts to back it. They will choose what to report on, and that's what you gotta be careful of. Sometimes they will report on stuff that probably shouldn't be made a big deal of. Sometimes they will report on stuff that sometimes they won't report on stuff that maybe they should. Maybe they should. Mainstream media is very creepy, but what he is doing by this conversation here is he is saying, no, don't listen to mainstream media. Don't listen to anybody but me, because I'm the only one that knows the facts. That's what he's setting up here, this type of rhetoric. So even though he's shitting on he seems like he's shitting on both sides, he's just kind of building like a cult mentality in his audience. It's interesting. Now, if you already dislike these anti-woke grifters and want to know how to fight them, there is something easy you can do right now. I know it sounds self-serving, but liking this video, commenting, and subscribing to this channel do help take algorithm space away from these grifters. Have you guys heard of Rumble? So, if you haven't heard of Rumble, then you are very, very lucky. And I apologize because I'm going to ruin this for you. But what Rumble is it's a competitor for YouTube. And I know if you're like me, you're probably like, oh, well, God, thank God. Fucking YouTube needs a competitor. YouTube needs somebody who can, hold them to task and compete with them accurately. Unfortunately, that's not what Rumble is, because Rumble has become just pretty much a right-wing cesspool of garbage. I'm certain there's plenty of creators there who aren't that, but all it pushes is largely just the right-wing creators. I know it offered them lots of money to come over. And what we're going to do is we are going to look at a certain person you've maybe heard of, Nerdrotic. He has a Rumble. He's not as active on it as he is on his YouTube, but he does pop up. And what I'd like to do is check out this one. At least we're probably, to the EFAP fans, I'm probably going to jump around in this stream rather than watch the whole thing. Enjoy. But apparently he does a Nerdrotic nooner with Donald Trump on right there. And this is a Rumble exclusive. And I'm not going to lie, I'm interested. Let's check this out. Because Nerdrotic, as we all know, is famously non-political. Not political at all. Let's see, I've never actually run this app, so we'll see how this goes. Am I supposed to hear anything? The hell is it? Okay, here we go. Okay, we got an intro.
I think we're live. I'm looking at Rumble. We're not sure yet, so this is going to be a process, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Bickler. Coming to you from Nerdrotic. And what a weekend. Holy shit.
Okay.
Fuck?
Looks like we got some Trump stuff here. Looks like it's probably about the shooting. Let's see what he says.
All right, I got it now. It was tweeted at Benny Johnson.
Oh God. Fuck this app.
My God.
I'm used to just being able to click it and pause it. Benny Johnson, I believe he used TP USA. We covered him before because he did the interview with Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. But yeah, he is a piece of crap. Here, can I spacebar it?
That right?
Yes. Well, we're seeing some of the
account.
images of live stream.
So what it does is it has a split screen between. God, how long ago was? I hope it's still there. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So it's got a timer and a split screen between the people witnessing the guy climbing the wall and Trump speaking. Again, it's the internet. So I'm not presenting this as like totally perfectly timed up because it's just an account on the internet that I found, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's from via Milk Bar TV. Okay, so everyone must watch this clip. Split screen video of moments leading up to the attack. Secret Service had 2 full minutes.
He was doing his job. I wouldn't even be doing this. It's a beautiful place with the gorgeous ocean.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And so I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals.
What the fuck?
We have criminals.
He's
We
on
have
the roof. He's
drug
right.
dealers. We have people that
Right
should not be
here.
here.
Right on the
And
roof.
it's much tougher than if it happened.
He went right on the roof, big guy.
In recorded history, we're the best border. In fact, if they could ever put up a chart, I don't know if they can do it. Do you guys have access to that chart that I love so much?
I love that
You don't
shot.
mind if I go off teleprompter, do you? Because these teleprompters are so damn boring. I try and explain that. Oh, there's it. Wow.
Trump is really boring when he's reading off teleprompter because you can tell he's just like doesn't care. But the problem is when he goes off teleprompter, that's when he just says insane fucking shit. It's ridiculous.
You guys are doing it. They're getting better with time. My guys, take a look at that chart.
Not your
Take a look
security.
at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and
That's
that
a
comes
long
right
time,
from the
Guys,
government services. Comes right out of
minute
Border
30.
Patrol.
So that
Take a
dude's
look at
still
that.
up there.
So that
People are
arrow is
pointing
the
at him.
lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history.
Oh my God. Like here, I thought maybe you'd talk about inflation or something like that. But no, he's talking about illegal immigration because it's all he's fucking got. My God. Dude, it's ridiculous.
Into our country. And then
Minute 40. So that
and
dude
then
was
the
up there
worst
this whole
president
time,
in the history of our
crawling
country
around.
took over.
People are
And
pointing.
look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit over that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something, it says,
So fun fact, I've actually never watched this footage.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful, guys.
It kind of looks like that. And here's the thing, like they want to criticize the Secret Service for not being on top of it when they spot it. But like, did they tell anybody? They're just recording it and not like what the heck?
We got breaking news. We got breaking news coming in. Shots fired. Seems to be shots fired at the Trump rally.
Somebody got hit right there. That's court. Yeah, that's.
Need to go live right now.
You know, isn't it kind of this election cycle has been insane. because this happened shortly before the RNC. And since then, we've had the entire RNC. Then after the RNC, Joe Biden dropped out. And then now we got Harris, who I guess has been running for about a week now. This has been the quietest week, actually. And like that happened like immediately after the RNC, and then Trump like lost his lead. And what's kind of amazing is that there wasn't a huge spike for Trump after this. You would expect a huge spike of support for him, but there's a little bit, but it wasn't that big a deal.
We are live right now at the Trump rally.
One shot right here, Mike.
We don't know if
Trump was just hit by some glass, guys. It was pretty bad. Actually, I do feel sorry for the Trump supporter. Like, while I'm certain I would disagree with him on a lot of different things, he didn't deserve to die. That was pretty rough.
President Trump has been shot. We know he hit the ground. We do not know if President Trump has been shot. He's
I'm
up.
guessing that's
He's
Corey
up.
on the right. Okay.
Shots are still continuing to be fired. He's giving a thumbs up,
Shots are continuing to be fired. I haven't heard anything. What the hell?
everybody. He's giving a thumbs up.
And Trump is just such a narcissist. You know he loves shit like this.
Fucking crazy. Seeing it from this. Holy shit. They had 2 fucking minutes, man. That like
Breaking news right now. This is
You know, and I still have the same question. So, they're recording it. Did they let anybody know they saw somebody on top of that roof? I don't know. Like, I don't think that we're gonna get anything more from this footage, but let's just see what Gary says about it.
that's perspective. That's 2 full minutes, which is a lifetime when fucking bullets are flying at you, or there's some guy rocking on a roof. Listen, I'm not a security expert. I've been busted by security a lot, but I am not a security expert. But I would think that a roof that has a clear line of sight under 200 yards would probably be a place you'd want some people. Is that too much to ask?
I agree.
I think it's too much to ask. So again,
Listen, man, I made it absolutely clear. I do not want Trump to win. I am not pro-Trump on any metric. Yeah, the fact that that was accessible was bad.
I don't, with all the stuff I've done, I honestly, I believe people on Twitter more than I believe the mainstream media, but most of it's been false so far. But I did hear somebody say that the Secret Service is saying that the police should have covered it. Fuck you, no. And that's like some of their jurisdiction. Okay. So even if that's true, it's still your responsibility to make sure the police do their fucking job. Like, do you have somebody up there, or you just go, that'd be fine, bro? Would you do that with Obama? Would you do that with Biden? Would you do that with fucking evil bastard son of a bitch Bush? By the way, the other 2 guys are completely evil bastard son of a bitches too. They're all the same fucking team, all the same fucking party. The one we're not invited to, and I wouldn't want to be. Fuck them. But
So he's anti-Bush. That's interesting. I do think it's interesting he said that about Biden and Obama, and then he added how evil Bush was. Then he felt the need to go back. That's interesting.
yeah. So I can completely buy incompetence. Look at our government. Yes. But as I said, yesterday, and when we were talking, when I was on Jeremy's stream with Ryan, Jeremy brought up, I'm like, hey, there's probably tons of security camera there. And then there's the obvious point that Jeremy brought up, which was everybody's got fucking cameras. We're going to have a gazillion angles of this. So we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. We're going to get so much footage of this. This will be the most documented attempted assassination in the history of time. and we're
Possibly, although I don't know if there's been a whole lot released. Yeah, and GM Morgan's got an excellent point. Yes, the Secret Service is understaffed and underfunded. Yeah, I'm sure they would have issues with no matter who was up there.
still not going to know the official truth.
And I would like to also make it clear, the dude who took a shot at him was a Republican.
From the government. We'll see we saw if that lines up, if that's real, you can fuck with shit with that thing. That's a lifetime. They had to fucking stop him. So I need to see video of cops. We saw one cop looking around, but that might have nothing to do with it. But where were the fucking cops? Where were the fucking cops? You know, the cops showed up to arrest a guy on the beach during COVID. They made it there pretty fast. Where in the fuck were the fucking cops?
This would be more of a Secret Service thing, Gary.
I understand some people want to back the blue, and I know some cops who are good ones. A cop saved my life once. I also know there's some pieces of fucking shit who will just do whatever they're told, and they are still agents of the state, and they should not be trusted. I have a philosophy around this house, probably because I'm a felon. It would have to be.
This is actually relatively interesting diving into this, because I can see why so many people are so hardcore defending Gary, because what he is doing is kind of telling his audience, hey, don't trust mainstream media, which I want to stress, in and of itself is not a terrible idea. It's important to understand how mainstream media report stuff. And I'll tell you right now, mainstream media almost never lies. If they're reporting something, almost always they got the facts to back it. They will choose what to report on, and that's what you got to be careful of. Sometimes they will report on stuff that probably shouldn't be made a big deal of. Sometimes they will report on stuff that sometimes they won't report on stuff that maybe they should. Maybe they should. Mainstream media is very creepy, but what he is doing by this conversation here is he is saying, no, don't listen to mainstream media. Don't listen to anybody but me, because I'm the only one that knows the facts. That's what he's setting up here with this type of rhetoric. So even though he's shitting on he seems like he's shitting on both sides, he's just kind of building like a cult mentality in his audience. It's interesting.
A dire emergency for me to even call him. Collect a body. Something like that. If somebody tried to get my house.
I think it's also worth saying, I don't think I've ever seen him have this frank rhetoric about just almost like setting up his audience ever on YouTube. I've never seen it. That is true, Calling Chaos. Yeah, they're mostly the media. The mainstream media is a lot like YouTubers, honestly, like grifttubers. They're chasing views for money. The problem is that there is regulation to a degree. Fox News has gone in trouble for outright lying before. There's more lawsuits that will happen to mainstream media because it's more seen. YouTubers like Gary can fly under the radar.
But that's just me. Again, I know some. They're cool guys, but they are not a entity that I will ever trust. Just my philosophy, based on my experience with them. Again, one saved my life, and
Maestro, I would argue he's considerably worse than mainstream media, because, like I said, mainstream media won't outright lie to you. They will just choose what to report on and what not to report on. They'll try to avoid lies because they don't want to get sued. Gary can fly under the radar, and I think it's worth noting, Gary doesn't lie that often, but he misleads like a motherfucker. Like he will like just like imply so much. Like when I'm going over one of his videos, the big thing to keep in mind is he is implying so much, and it allows his audience to fill in the gaps. And sometimes his implications are fucking. In fact, almost always his implications are plain as fucking day. But it's all an implication. Like he rarely directly says something. That being said, the type of shit he says could get him in trouble. But, you know, because he's just a YouTuber, he can fly under the radar and get away with saying lots of stuff. And then also be like, I'm not mainstream media. I can tell you the truth. And it's like, you're full of shit.
I've also been beaten fucking silly by a bunch of them. So there's that. But the Secret Service head is let's get head of the Secret Service. Yeah, she was she should be Elon called for her to be like stepped down immediately. I completely agree. She won't. The Trump campaign,
I would want to know the context as to how that happened. If it's just seriously that they're understaffed, then let's fix that. That's the problem. Government is so busy gutting themselves, gutting government jobs, and not actually and it's like making like privatizing shit and giving shit to private companies. And then not regulating those private companies. So like I'm okay with the government saying, okay, a private company does this, but then that private company has to be regulated to death. And that doesn't happen.
Payne has been asking for more security. They wouldn't give it to him. And I doubt they have the A team, right? I doubt they have the A team. But that 2 minutes is inexcusable. So deliberate.
I don't know how much I'd really put stock in that 2 minutes. It's not good. But obviously we had people recording it. I don't know if they were yelling it, but I don't know if they were actually like making sure to tell like an actual like someone on the scene working there. And apparently the Secret Service head did step down. Yeah, it's not good. But no, it was a fuck up. It was a fuck up. And like, yeah, the 2 minutes is not as big a deal as much as that roof was just not monitored. Maybe we should be monitoring roofs, especially if they have a line of sight to the noteworthy person. Just saying. Listen, I've said it before. I'm not a fan of Trump at all. At all. Just speaking from a strictly crass point of view, I would not want him made a martyr. I wouldn't.
Or incompetence. It's one of those two things. Or there is a third. There is a C to that scenario. There is deliberate using the incompetence.
So real quick, I'll just go ahead and say it. Violence is never the answer. Do not pursue violence. Especially like if you're scared of Trump, and this is a Republican, so this isn't even somebody that'd be in my audience really. But the way you fight Trump right now is you go to the polls, you tell him no.
As Garrett pointed out, you know, there's just sometimes House of the Dragon last night. Daemon Targaryen needs House Blackwood to bring House Bracken to heel, and he can't do it, so he needs to do it another way. House Bracken's going to go in there and kidnap their fucking children to bring them to heel. But it can't be shown, House Targaryen can't be shown being involved in this. So it's just a little, and he doesn't even say it. He's all, I need you to do some things. And the other guy and the House Blackwood goes, we could do some things. He said, so you get my meaning. It can't be seen that the crown is involved in anything like this. Pushing in the right direction, leaving a certain door unlocked. These things happen.
So is he arguing there's some sort of conspiracy theory? Like it's almost like he's trying to imply like someone, like I don't want to follow his conspiracy to the full thing, but it seems like he's trying to use a House of the Dragon analogy to imply that there's some sort of conspiracy to go after Trump rather than just a Secret Service as underfunded and understaffed.
Yeah, C team. See you next Tuesday, team. The cunt team. I'm on Rumble. Hail Rumble. Hail Rumble. Then there's the reaction from the tolerant, progressive, who are the artists, who are the people of the people, the they thems of the non-binaries, who are sensitive artists and creatives.
Here we go. Here's Gary not being political, guys. Here's Gary not being a bigot.
And just better people than you.
And like I said, he hasn't actually said anything directly here, but he is implying so fucking much, and it is implications that hit you like a fucking truck. Like, it's not even like close, guys. My hair fucked up. Yeah. He's an asshole.
Saying it was staged. I do enjoy the tweet saying that the family of Corey should go out and sue anybody, any institution, anybody connected to an institution, saying that this was staged for $1 gazillion. I think Alex Jones even commented on it.
Oh, in reference to the Alex Jones thing. Okay. So if somebody uses their multimedia million upon $1 million platform to argue that something is a false flag shooting, something that has so much documented evidence, something that is beyond absolutely not false flag. If he continues pushing that and he gets sued, yeah, that's the type of thing I was talking about. That's why I was talking about the mainstream media. They're not going to lie. They're going to make sure their facts are in order, because then they could get sued for $1 billion and to be just in the same condition as Alex Jones. Because Alex Jones was doing the same thing, frankly, Gary's doing, except on a bigger scale. He was trying to fly under the radar and just push crazy stuff to people who are a bit more susceptible to that. And then, and then he got busted. Gary here is essentially kind of doing the same thing. Now, when you have people proposing that it's a false flag shooting on Trump, evidence has come out. It's not that, but like, what major mainstream media figure has been pushing that substantially? Like, I'm not just talking about people bringing it up as a possibility and then dropping it. I'm talking about somebody who pushes it on and on for a continuous period. Someone who does it on the same stage as Alex Jones. And also, can I add? Because this is important. So, Alex Jones wants to sue people, or wants to bring up how people should get sued for talking about how this is a false flag shooting of Trump, or assassination attempt of Trump. Alex, is that your way of admitting that you were lying when you were talking about fucking Sandy Hook? Because it sounds like that's what you're saying.
The media telling us so they're going through this is so hard for them. This is so hard for them because you know what they really want to say. You know what they really want to say. What Kyle Gass said with Tenacious D. Next time, don't miss. That's exactly what they want to say. That's exactly what's in their head.
That's a joke. That was such a joke. You can argue it was poorly timed, sure. And I do not endorse violence of any type. Like I said, guys, if something were to actually happen to Trump, he would become a martyr. And goddamn, I don't want to deal with Trump the fucking martyr. We need, if we're going to take care of Trump, it needs to be in November. But yeah, no, Kyle Gass was obviously just doing a joke off the top of his head. And I honestly, I think there's something else going on with Tenacious D, because I think it was really an overreaction. It's like Kyle Gass should just come out and say, hey, I do not endorse political violence of any type. And then they just move the fuck on.
That's exactly what they mean now, what they meant before, what they'll mean in the future. That's exactly what they want to say. So they are just fucking like, it's like,
So, like, you're talking about how the left is wildly intolerant, and all you have is the dude from Tenacious D and some ambiguous examples. Like, you're not going to actually even go over tweets or anything. The fuck, Gary? People are always yelling at me when I'm debunking stuff without like going over every fucking fine detail. And you are just like saying random shit here.
they're so pent up that they're about to blow. It looks like they're just about to blow. So they're going to be coping. I think they pulled some, was it Morning Joe got pulled? Probably a good idea, but eventually they're going to come out. The View's going to come out. Morning Joe's going to come out. The usual suspects are going to come out. The late night talk show hosts, Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel. You know what they want to say. I say what you want to say. Please. Go ahead. Don't bullshit. Tell the truth.
So I'll say what I want to say and what I've already said. I do not endorse violence of any type. Burn.
For once in your life. Tell us exactly what you mean.
Thank you, Crawling Chaos. That's a lot of what this is. Like, just repeating the same shit over and over again. And people just hear it over and over again, and then they start thinking it's fact. That's the entire basis of Get Woke, Go Broke. It's just a catchy thing you say over and over again, then people start believing. And if I could snap, I would snap. But yeah, Get Woke, Go Broke. Get Woke, Go Broke. Say it over and over again. Everybody just starts falling in line. Just like, yeah, that sounds right. It doesn't mean anything. It just rhymes. That's it. It's garbage. There is no factual basis behind it whatsoever. And that's what these guys do. Gary here, how many times has he brought up how mainstream media is lying to you? And how, like, pretty much setting up that the only person you can trust is him. Everyone's lying to you. Everyone's evil, except Gary. Watch Gary. Nerdrotic, Nooner. It's such bullshit.
Please. I would love to fucking hear it. I challenge you for the first time in your fucking life, Hollywood, tell the truth. Don't bother sugarcoating it. You're disappointed. You're disappointed that the bullet missed. There's a bunch of you out there who are disappointed that the bullet missed. I think that exposes a lot of character, and that's why I love.
I mean, I'm sure there are people who are disappointed the bullet missed. I am not. Like I said, I've already gone over this a lot, Gary. It's not like you can hear me, but like you are very redundant.
Free speech. And I think those people should be absolutely allowed to say everything. And you are absolutely allowed to screen.
So, Gary, why, like, you're talking about, hey, why don't you do this? Like, most of the people in your circuit would at least grab some no names on Twitter who said this and shout out and say, this is what they all want to say. And you can't even do that. That's very noteworthy. You can't find a no name on, you aren't, you know, I mean, I'm sure they exist, so maybe it's just too obscure for you to find. But if you can't even find a prominent random tweet of somebody saying this, it tells you how loud people are saying this. Not fucking loud at all.
Grab every tweet, Facebook post, and put it on blast. My wife's former friend, who is a therapist, a successful therapist, said, I'm sorry the shooter missed. As a therapist.
That is anecdotal evidence. Fantastic. Like I said, I'm certain there are people who will say that and think that. But I think it's interesting. Like, you have this story. Like, you're not even pulling up random fucking tweets, dude. You can't even find like a dozen tweets saying this, because they probably exist, but it probably takes too long for you to track them down because they're not getting pushed because they're cringe as fuck and nobody's backing them. There are people who will say anything. Anything. Doesn't mean a lot of people agree.
You know, if you want to put your statements out there in public, put them on blast, baby. That's what they want. It's all about free speech and free expression. Say what you mean. Stick behind it. Don't delete your fucking tweets.
It's interesting because when I come across people who delete their tweets, it's pretty much people who largely agree with Gary and his ilk.
Listen, I have deleted tweets, but it's
Listen. My wife's former friends, roommates, uncles, cousins, nieces, roommates, best friend said that they wish the bullet hit. Get out of here with that shit.
because of my horrible misspellings. So you wouldn't even be able to understand them. But then I just fix it and put it back up. What's the one I got in trouble for the most? It's not taco. This was during the riots. Even one of my former employees from the Comic Outpost piped in. It was something stupid. It was like really I mean, if I'm getting ratioed on it because it was just dumb, that's fine. I can accept that. But it was during the riots, and I said, "Oh, it looks like I can go get some free AstroTurf from Home Depot or something like that." I said, I'm going to bring justice to George Floyd by stealing some by going to steal some AstroTurf from Home Depot or something like that. And it fucking triggered a bunch of people and my former employee. And I told him to shut the fuck up. That was about it. That was a bit that. Yeah, they really wanted that to happen. And I really want them to be honest about it. I really do.
Wow, he's just going on and on and on. And he really doesn't have anything to say. Like it's this is all just kind of grooming, like frankly, grooming his audience. He's essentially saying, don't trust anyone else, trust me. I know the truth. And he's also kind of a fucking dumbass. And like this whole thing about the leftist needs to say what they really want. Dude, it's been a few days. It's been a few days by the time you've done this. Dig up some tweets. Dig up some actual fucking evidence. Like when I react to stuff, I react to things that have actually been posted. I wait for people to actually say things before I debunk them. You are trying to pre-debunk, and you don't even have anything to debunk. So, like, you're just making up a fictional leftist boogeyman who is really bloodthirsty for Trump, and you can't even fucking come up with a single fucking tweet, dude. Slack off, man. Yes, that was kind of me going after Spaceballs. Yes, thank you. Because I read somebody's Spaceballs. I was like, yeah, I did reference Spaceballs recently. What was it? Yes. My brother's roommate, whatever it was. What is that quote?
I am your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate.
What?
What's that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
I am
nothing.
Listen, your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate said this. So what? So what? Who cares? Who cares? Guys, like and subscribe to this stream. Thank you for joining me.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.